In this video, we'll look at scatter plots and lines of best fit. So first, some definitions. A scatter plot is a graph that shows a relationship between two sets of data, and correlation is a measurement of the relationship between two variables. So we could have a positive correlation, and if that's the case, as one set of the values increases, the other will increase as well. Or we can have a negative correlation. As one set of values increases, the other tends to decrease. So we have different types of correlation here. So this first example would be a weak positive. We would say it's positive because as my values along my x-coordinate are increasing, the values along the y-coordinate are also increasing. And you can see here a positive correlation. We have a positive slope here. So that line that I drew is the line that sort of fits what that data is showing me here. It's kind of increasing and going up. But we can see that it's called weak because there's a lot of spread between our points of data here. This next one would be a strong positive. If I had to try to draw a line to model this data, maybe it looks something like this. It's strong positive because all the points, my data, is all clustered right around that line, very close to the line. And this would be perfect positive if I could connect all these in an exact straight line. Negative correlation would look like this. So as my x values are increasing along here, my y values are decreasing. So this would be an example of weak negative. You can see there's a lot of spread between my data points here. Whereas this would be strong negative because they're all clustered very close together. And these lines are the lines that seem to best model all of this data here. And the final example here, no correlation. Well, you can't really tell. Is there a positive correlation? Is there a negative correlation? As my x's are increasing, my y's are all over the place. So there's no correlation. Here I've plotted a bunch of points and then drew in this line, and that's the line of best fit there. So these points represent my scatter plot, right? And then this is the line that seems to model that. So what type of correlation is this? Well, if I look at my graph here, I can see that the line has a negative slope. As x increases, y is decreasing. So this is a negative correlation, and the points are clustered pretty close together, so we could say it's a strong negative. And then if this is my line that is modeling the data that I have here, I want to write an equation in slope-intercept form for this line. So remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. So I want to identify the slope and the y-intercept on this line. First, let's grab that y-intercept. It's right here. The line is crossing the y-axis at 0, 5. So my y-intercept is 5. And my slope, I want to choose any 2 points on the line. Here's a point there. I can also see a point right up here. And I want to calculate my slope here. Well, as I go from my intercept to my next point, I'm going down 3 and right 2. So my slope is negative 3 over 2. So my equation in slope-intercept form would be y equals negative 3 halves x plus 5. And that is how we work with scatter plots and lines of best fit.